So, good morning, everybody. I have a story to tell about IT and OT. So, I think most of you, well, maybe first question, do you all speak Dutch? Anybody doesn't speak Dutch? Yeah, okay, sure, now we do it in English. So, I hope you all know IT. Hope you also all know OT. As you probably know, there is a difference between both, and that's why I want to talk about. So, this is me. So I'm not a professional speaker. I'm here to share a story. I work for a big industrial company being Atlas Copco. Before that, I worked in telecommunications. And well, you know, in telecommunications, you also have something that they call telco, which is basically operational technology in the telecom. So I do these speeches like a few times per year. If you have questions, I will stay like 10 minutes after the speech. Just reach out to me, and otherwise reach out to me online. So let's start. Let's start with the main message. This is where I want to end with. So if you don't want to stay, you can leave after this slide. No. You know, you have IT, you have OT. They are different. They are really, really different. But at the end of the day, we are both there to help the customer, to help the company to earn money. And for me, the key message of this is we have to work together. And that's not always easy. Okay, just a disclaimer, especially because it's recorded. Sometimes in the examples, I may use strong opinions. Everybody is different. But okay, if you don't like explain it a bit harsher, then the differences may not always be that simple. Another thing is we are a very international company. We work all around the world. You have the company culture, but you also have the local culture. So a company working in China, a factory in China is very different compared to a factory in Brazil or in Belgium. But everybody in that company is different. So let's start. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. We have IT security, we have OT security. In IT security, it's about all the things I think we all know, firewalls, cloud, endpoint protection, access management. But then you have this very interesting thing called operational technology, where it's really about industrial control systems, about the Purdue model. And these two things, they look very different, but they are not always that different. At the end, it's technology that speaks with each other, it's our processes, it's our assets to manage. Good. So, differences. Differences I have seen in the last 2-3 years, looking into this in our company and outside of the company, also looking into literature, is first of all, we have time is a construct. What does that mean? In IT, you see people usually working 9 to 5. In OT, you have, of course, a lot of factories that run 24/7. So how do you support it? Having the IT help desk support the OT while the working hours are very different, that's not something that works very easily. Also downtime, part of time, of course. How do you look at downtime? If a printer is down in the office, or even if a full office location is down, that's a bit different than when you have a big company, a big factory being down. We're talking about 1 million, 2 million, 10 million a day. So probably we have to approach it differently, but I see in a lot of companies, including ours, that we try to push these IT concepts on OT, and that doesn't always work. Second thing is, it's a matter of priority. You know, IT, the CIA trade, all very important, but in OT, uptime is very important, and safety is very important. So, as I said before, if one office printer is down, you just go to the next one. When a laser plate engraver is down, yeah, then maybe you cannot deliver the devices to the customer. And yeah, that's something also not always easy to explain to IT people. Then we have the early versus late adopters, where in IT, you know, we have evergreen, we want to work with the newest tools, all this fancy stuff. In OT, you build a factory, technology, it's there for 25 years. Although it's not always true anymore. With the IT-OT conversions, you see more and more that these evergreen systems also start to hit the OT market. Stability is another one. In OT, there is only one thing important next to safety, and that's stability. The line has to run, things have to work. In IT, we find it very much more important to have this patching, to make sure we have the newest OS patch and so on. So it's important we understand, first of all, the IT mindset, but on the other hand, also how people in OT look at the world. Downtime and risk. So in IT, we all know, did you try turning it off and on again? In OT, I mean, if it's like an oven, potentially turning it off means it's never coming on again. It can cost hundreds of millions. So you also have these maintenance windows. In IT, yeah, okay, we can do an emergency patch. I'm not talking about banks, but again, in banks, it's very different because they have resilient systems. They have high availability. You can reboot one server, the other one will still work. You cannot easily reboot the factory. So that's a bit on this slide. Then we have reference points. That's also where do people come from. You see, in IT, most of the time, people go to school to do it. They do computer studies, maybe business studies, and then they go and work in IT deliberately because that's their choice. In OT, it's very, very different. I mean, not a lot of people go to school to learn how to do the technical OT security part. No, it's people that are engineers, they want to build things, they learn things, and then they kind of shift towards the IT-ish part of OT. So that means they have a different background, they have different training. But on the other hand, in OT, these people, they know the systems inside out because they built them themselves or they designed them. So backgrounds very different. It's not easy to understand each other. Ego, let's be honest, IT is a cost, while OT, it's where the money comes in factories, of course. So you build things, you build machines that help to build products for customers, or you run the water plant. So you are the business. Is it true? Of course it's not true. Because if you sell something and you cannot invoice it because the invoicing system is down, which is an IT system, of course, yeah, you will not keep building things. Same with service. So still, we see it is happening a lot. And then maybe finally, for the differences, you have the ecosystem. In IT, in a lot of cases, people work for the world, different systems, many different sales locations. While in OT, we still see that in a lot of cases, it's steered from the local factory. They work on one thing, one production line, and not on anything else. So again, it's different. But then, you know, not that long ago, we had these factories with walls where OT engineers were doing their things for their own production line. You had this IT world where people were building big ecosystems, were doing clouds, were doing all these things. And there was a Chinese wall in between, the big gates at the factory wall. Well, that's not true anymore. And one day you wake up, and it's not 10 years ago, but it's also not yesterday. And what I've seen in our company and many other companies is you wake up and suddenly you have IT-OT convergence. Suddenly it are the same protocols. Suddenly the IT systems and the OT systems are talking with each other. And it's not done on purpose. It's not big of a part of a big master plan. No, it just happened part by part. Of course, it's fueled up by things as industrial Internet of Things, 5G, and all the things that can be brought there. But then, yeah, now we have an issue because these two worlds, they are interconnected, and we have to find a way to do it. Yeah, as you know, IT talks about CIA, where in OT we talk about reliability, safety, and productivity. It are two things that are pretty the same, but at the same time pretty different. How can we have people talk with each other and work more in the same way? Well, what we believe is we're stronger together. Stronger together means we're all working for the company, we're there to improve things. How can we do it? By connecting the dots. This is just one example of an organization, how you could potentially tailor it. It's not how we do it today, but it's one of the ideas we have. Most important is you have these dotted lines. You have people at the same level in the organization, important, same level, So not I'm higher than you and I will tell what you do. No, no, we're on the same level and we talk with each other. And we have to do it on every level in the organization. By speaking with each other, we can really improve things. So just some ideas about how we can build trust. For example, create virtual teams for projects. Make sure people meet each other. Go and walk through the factory. Or if you're working in the factory, go and have a chat with the IT guys. I mean, we're all not that different. Also important, show some interest in each other's work. I regularly go and talk with the production engineers to see how are you doing things, and they start to talk with us like, okay, but why are you being this annoying on network security? And then you can explain. Look for shared goals. At the end, we all want the same. Then, yeah, do some informal gatherings. For example, if you do a project together and it's successful, give a drink and make sure you have the IT people and the OT people together in one room. And then, of course, something that always helps, praise each other. If something went well, go to the manager of the person that did it for you in OT and tell them, well, your guy or girl helped me really, really well and did a good job. Then, of course, you have a maturity. Even if it's low, then you have to maintain it. For that, we invented something we call the, if it works, yeah, we call the factory security hero. So what we did there is we said, okay, so we have factories, we have IT. IT is not always present in the factories, IT people. So we want somebody in every factory, 1 or 2 people, that we can talk with. But not an IT guy we put there, no. It has to be somebody who works on the lines as a process engineer, for example, who understands the OT business. We try to upskill them, train them on IT concepts, and then we have them as our remote eyes and ears. Why does it work? Well, first of all, it helps us to maintain the whole story. They have to be part of security, but they're also part of OT. They are very important in raising awareness. We kind of virtually try to integrate the teams, and these people can lead by example. So, I'm at the end of my talk, some closing words, and then there is some time for questions, I think. So, what we learned is, first of all, the road will be very, very long, but every step you take counts. So think big, but start small. You want to do OT security in 72 factories, as we did, start with 1. You know you want to do it everywhere, but start with 1. Then build trust. So again, you start small, you make sure people trust you. So the first projects you do hypercare, you make sure everybody is really, really available and it goes well. And then I see, oh, but these IT changes, they don't have to really bring down my factory. And then things go better and better. And then, of course, as always, you have to prepare for the worst. Make sure you can go back, have disaster recovery, do a rollback of changes. So don't do firewall changes without having a plan to easily go back. That's basically it for me.